Welcome to the Rip 28 podcast. It's the Rip 28 podcast. I am your humble host, Slider Sports Guy. I'm joined by a few of my good friends. This is the Rip 28 podcast. It's a podcast where a few friends can get together and we can talk about a few things. Now, some of those things you might like, some of those things you might not like, but we're going to keep on talking about them here on the Rip 28 podcast. We like to start things off in the top left. We got the doc. What's going on, Dr. J?
Hey, what up? What up? What up? Ain't nothing happening Thursday afternoon. About to kick it, get a show in, and see everybody talking about today.
Well, he's starting off wrong. We don't like to give
It's
the actual
evening, man.
date. We don't actually like to give the time we do the podcast. Who knows when we're going to release it? Now they know we recorded it on Thursday. Thank you.
Hey, my bad.
Thank you very much,
Edit
Doc.
his ass.
It's
Edit
the
his ass out.
cordyceps.
Oh, God.
Cordyceps.
Yeah, we going to have to do that in the post-ed.
Yeah, you gotta edit his ass
Oh,
out.
Lord. All right. In the bottom left, we got the educator's educator. What's going on, LBZ?
Man, it's Beezy the Great, the educator's educator, here to educate Jawone ignorant ass on a few things.
Please.
But let's get it, man.
Please educate this fool. Please educate him. Oh God, we gonna figure stuff out on the Rip 28 podcast. We gonna eventually.
We gonna get it right, y'all.
figure
We
this
just
out.
had our 1 year, so y'all pipe it down.
We know.
Year two is coming with some doozies. Start with Jawone,
There
the
you
doc,
go. We gonna get him straight.
the
All right.
cordyceps.
I would like to say a special guest, but she ain't a special guest no more. She's a regular. She is the one. She is the moral compass of the Rip 28 podcast, the one who keeps us together, the one and only Miss Shauna C. What's going on, Carl?
It's Dot in the building. What's happening?
Man, we're happy to have you here. It's been a while. You done been gone. This the longest we ain't have you on. It's been about over a month, ain't it?
Yeah, it has been. You hadn't called me last minute in a long time.
Well, you know.
Ho, Shauna, you getting too uppity. You don't do without us like that, Shauna.
Oh, my bad. We got to edit that out, too.
We
You
that's
have
why
to edit that.
that's why we put you on pause. You know, we put you on pause. You try to get a little too big for your britches. You know.
I know.
You know what I'm
Jawone,
saying?
Y'all been hanging out? God, dog. Class
done-
of 7?
She done got on the show. She done increased her Twitter following and stuff, getting behind us. Her IG followers went up because we are worldwide. We did prove that to her the last time. She
I mean,
was
you
on.
said it. I don't know if you proved it, but you said it.
We showed you the stats. You need me to pull the stats up again?
So save
Hey,
that little,
women lie, men lie, podcast lie. But the
save that
numbers
little
don't.
piece of paper.
The
Save that little
numbers
piece of paper.
don't.
The numbers don't, Shauna. The proof is in the pudding.
Follow
You
me,
saw it.
Cobb's Child, on Twitter. Cobb's Child.
Oh God. Oh God. Well, it is a lot going on out in the world today, man. We won't sit down. We won't talk about a couple of things, man. A couple of things we want to get into. But oh man, gotta get this booty picture Bron just sent in our text. We gotta get rid of.
Boy, that you the reason Michael Vick went to jail.
Oh my bad. I'm pulling a Dre. If I pulling a G5 bust.
Hey,
They
boy,
get
you did-
stitches,
Hey,
Fly. They get
hey.
stitches.
hey, boy, you did it. You did it on air. You can't do that.
Oh my bad, man. My bad.
God, dog.
I'm out here snitching. Oh well. But one thing we want to get into, man, a lot of stuff going on in the world, One of the big things, all us being former athletes, all us being involved in the sports world, the NCAA has just did something called the NIL. I don't really know what that means or stands for, but it means that the kids can get paid.
For their name, image, and likeness.
Oh,
There
I
you go,
guess that's what
NIL.
NIL. That's what that stands for. Name, image, and
Uh-huh.
license. Wow. Okay.
Likeness.
Likeness.
What did I just say?
I said license.
Likeness, license, same thing, man. It's
All
my
right,
it's my southern dialect twang.
You the
That's,
reason we couldn't get paid when we was in school playing ball, Sly.
you right. You right. Well, I needed them $100 handshakes. I went to Eastern Kentucky. It wasn't no $100 handshakes where I was at. He was like, "Good job, boy. Go and go to that calf. Go
We
to
gonna hold the
the calf."
calf open 30 minutes longer for you.
Exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
sir. Well, at least they held it for you.
Well, anyway, now the kids are, college athletes now. They can go and make money off of their name. So I guess at one point in time, the rule was, you couldn't go out and go and advertise for McDonald's. I guess you couldn't. McDonald's couldn't buy your use your name and sell a hamburger or something like that. But now I guess McDonald's can, or I guess the rule was before. And now this is something I didn't know. This is something I thought was untrue. But before, like let's say if you were a quarterback and you wanted to hold personal quarterback lessons, you could actually do that, but you couldn't do it. You couldn't, in your advertisements, you couldn't wear your university uniform. You couldn't have your university name, and you couldn't do it on any university property. And you could only charge a rate that was comparable to whatever the going prices were. So you couldn't say I'm having the LeBron quarterback camp and charging each kid $10,000. You couldn't do that. See, I didn't know that. I thought you just couldn't make money off your name at
That's what
all.
I thought too. I thought that as well. I thought if you used your name in any way, you couldn't be paid for it, for you would lose your amateur status.
Mm. Well, wow,
That's what I thought.
that's what I thought too.
It's always rules, and it's always just the way you navigate around the rules. And people do that all the time, So but that's interesting, though.
But you know why that rule was there though, why that navigation was around, man. And I'm gonna be the one to say it. People don't want to say it, but I'm gonna be the one to say it. The rule was there and worded in that particular way for the athletes who played other sports. You know what I'm saying? If you played tennis, you wanted to give private tennis lessons, you could go to the country club with Biffy and Buffy and go and give private tennis lessons for Biffy and Buffy. But
Biffy and Buffy.
Jerome couldn't go to the local gym and go and give Malik shooting lessons. He ain't, Malik wasn't gonna pay for
He could
shooting
go
lessons.
to the gym. He couldn't use the school's gym.
Yeah, yeah. You know how that was set up. That was set up to hold my people back. That's what I believe. Set up to hold my people back.
So
Just
is there any stipulations on this rule? Like, so they can make money off their name and likeness and stuff like that, but so they get that money while they're in school, or that money goes into like some kind of trust?
So the way may I, Sylvester?
Oh, you can
May
talk. You can talk. Hey! I'm modern, baby. I'm modern. My women can talk, even when
Oh,
you're not
okay.
in the
Thank you.
kitchen.
Thank
Even
you.
when
Oh,
you're not in
Oh,
the
thank you.
kitchen, you can talk.
hey,
Thank you.
we talking
Well,
about
you,
NIL,
you
Okay.
forgot
NIL,
barefoot too, Sly.
Don't do
NIL.
this. Don't do this, Jawone, in front of all these people. Don't do this in front of all
I'm
your
just messing.
listeners.
I'm just messing.
So,
Hey, Shade will get you muted around here too. Now I heard it. Go ahead.
so Jawone, the way. Okay, let me step back. So several states have said over the course of the past 12 months, we are going to implement legislation that says our students who are enrolled at schools in our state can earn money off their name, image, or likeness. Now, it wasn't done federally, but several individual states have implemented that. So what the NCAA did, what the board of directors ultimately approved is, in states where there aren't currently legislative jurisdiction that says, here's how a student can earn off their name, image, or likeness, the NCAA will have a policy that says you can engage in activities that earn you money off your name, image, and likeness that are consistent with, if there is a state law that's consistent with the state law. So whatever the state says, you can earn up to this amount, or you can do it in this manner. And then where there aren't pieces of legislation, that you can do it without violating NCAA policy. So you can use professional services. So I don't know how closely y'all have been following this, but there are several now companies that say, we'll be your, for lack of a better term, will be your we'll be a representative in this area, and we'll go out and find you opportunities to earn money off your name, image, and likeness. And then what we said is that students have to report this to their school. So what this essentially does is, for folks who are doing on-campus compliance like I used to do back in the day, now they're having an additional layer of monitoring, because if Sylvester, my left tackle, decides that he wants to now advertise for Joe's Pool Hall. Joe's Pool Hall says, we're going to give you some money to say, I'm Sly, number 95, come to Joe's Pool Hall. Now, as the on-campus compliance administrator, I have to make sure they aren't overpaying you, right? I got to make sure that they're on the up and up of what they're giving you to represent this pool hall. So essentially, anybody who's a student athlete can now represent a company, an entity, and say, yep, because Shauna is a student athlete, I'm a star sprinter, and y'all want me to advertise for y'all, I can do that now, and I can make money off that. So up until July 1, this was something that wasn't permissible. So what we've seen is there are student athletes who've now, you saw Master P's son signed a $2 million contract with an up and coming, I think it's an IT company, to say, yep, I'm going to be the face of this IT company, and I'm going to make this money by representing them. He'll probably put it in a social media feed, right? Everything's in social media. But now these young people can use their name to advertise. So if you think back way many years ago, Jeremy Bloom, who was a football student athlete at Colorado. And he was also a skier. And he was trying to earn money to get endorsements for skiing. And what happened was the NCAA rules wouldn't allow him to do both. And so he had to choose between, right? There was Michael Jordan's son, who played at UCF, who said, I want to use my name for this. He was Air Jordan, H-E-I-R. That's clever. That's clever. He was Air Jordan, and he wanted to earn money off of being Air Jordan, but using his name, because if we don't see you and know who you are, Jordan's son, we're not going to give you money, right? So I need my name to make this money. You can go through a litany of names of student athletes in the past who either had to choose, I'm going to go with marketing myself to do whatever this is that I'm doing, or I want to be a student athlete. And now they don't have to make that choice.
So it's no cap at all. So they can make that.
Well, so here's
that's
the
gonna
thing.
Be interesting. There's
no cap, but let's be real. What people are focusing on are the high profile student athletes, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about, say we go back to last season, we're talking about the Trevor Lawrences, the Justin Fields, right?
Yeah.
The Mac Jones. Okay, what are they gonna get? Nobody talking about the third string kicker. Like, who wants to use the third string kicker and have him advertise for their business or whatever have you? Or what about the women's soccer players or the women's field hockey players?
Well, check this though.
But they have the opportunity to do it too, where in the past nobody could do it.
Well, here's the thing what's going to blow your mind. You say the third string kicker, but I remember one time it was a brother, a couple of years ago, wasn't it, a brother like at UCF or something who was a kicker?
Georgia Tech had the little short and stocky kicker.
But he had like 1 million followers or something on Instagram, and he couldn't make money off of Instagram. So you don't have to be a star. Well, I mean, being a star helps. But in this modern media, with Instagram and everything like that, man, if you got you a huge internet following, you can be a scrub. And especially now when it comes to women. I know it's like 2 twins or something, two white chicks.
Not twins.
Huh?
That would be 4. Not 2 twins. That would be 4.
Shut the fuck up. You know it. It was a pair of twins.
Wait a minute.
A pair of twins. Like a day after everything was made legal, they were like at Madison Square. Or what's that? The big place in New York. The
MSG.
Yeah, they had their name on the big bulletin boards and all of that, man. And, nobody knew who the hell they were unless you were, Instagram followers and stuff like that. So
what some schools have done is said, we're going to help you student athletes build your brand.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to make money off your name, image, and likeness, let's make sure you're doing it in the right way, right?
I mean, they're going to get a cut.
We'll help you. No, because I'm signing Sly. I'm not signing the University of
And
Hold on.
even I don't think they would do that because even I'm gonna get you to come to my school by saying, hey, I'm gonna help you build your brand, right?
Yep.
So
yeah.
Yep.
it's just another.
So a lot
And
of
it also
Division
looks
One
good for
schools.
the.
Go ahead, Brian.
Well, I'm
Sorry.
sorry, Shauna. Go ahead, baby. I'm
Uh-uh.
sorry.
You got it.
I was just saying it looks good for that school too. Let's
Mm-hmm.
say if I'm at whatever college and I get these number of athletes that are excelling in the NIL, what do you think is gonna happen with these new and up and coming recruits? That's
Mm.
another notch for Alabama, Clemson, Oregon, and whoever it may be.
So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna play the devil's advocate here. It's good they're able to make money, but is it gonna take away from them being able to focus on playing the sport?
That part. And I want to know who's helping them make sure they got the tax implications all down. Because
Yes.
Oh,
if
that's
you making this money, y'all got to pay taxes on this money. We're going to have 17, 18, 19-year-olds with tax evasion.
mhm.
Yeah. I just think it's gonna make it. Yeah, I would say they should take that money and put it in a trust, and once they graduate, they get that money. I don't think they should be having that money while
Everybody
they're in
ain't gonna
school.
graduate, Jawone. Dr.
Well,
QB,
once they
everybody's not
leave
gonna
school,
graduate.
leave school, you know
But
what I
look,
mean.
but check this out.
They still
Go
have
ahead.
the money though, right? So once they leave school, graduate or whatever they do, they still have the money, but it doesn't mess with their focus because having a lot of money and still be able to focus on getting better and working on your craft, it's very hard, and it's only certain kids are gonna be special enough to do that.
Especially if you don't have a support system around you, right? So
Yeah.
you're talking about kids who might be from a background where they don't have that support, and it's, oh, I got all this money now. They're blowing money. They're not thinking about the tax implications. They're not, they got hangers on. And I'm dealing with all of this. And if you don't have somebody around you who's saying, let me help you to make sure you're setting yourself up to get this money in perpetuity, even, it's a slippery slope.
But here's one thing I
Think
think.
about
Go ahead. Here's one thing I think everybody's kind of missing out on. You saying all this money is going to be flooded into college sports and everything like that, but we're only talking about the top 5%. We're only talking about the kids going to a Power Five conference. And here's my thing with a lot of sports, it's basically going to be football. It's going to be football and probably women's basketball. Those will be your top earners because men's basketball, the kids who can really, really make money off of their
They don't
name,
stay around long enough. They
Yeah.
don't stay around long enough.
yeah, they're not even going to go to college anymore. They're going to go to the G League. They're going to go to G League.
well,
So
overseas is another route for them
yeah,
now.
so the kids who
Yeah.
can really like a Zion Williamson, if he was coming out this year, he wouldn't go to Duke. He would go to the G League. He would go to the G League. And so basketball is going to be even a smaller percentage. Football, you got to play 3 years or until you're 21 before you can go to the NFL. So
And
football,
baseball's another sport.
yep,
Baseball's another. So if you don't go out of high school, you have
hmm
to stay at least 3 years in baseball. So
yep,
that's another sport.
yeah. And so with football now, you're going to see those. The SEC is going to have a problem. The ACC going maybe not the ACC besides Clemson, but
No. So Miami, I
yeah,
don't know if you saw the
Miami,
article.
yeah.
They have a gym who said we're going to give every scholarship student athlete $500 a month
hmm
if you pub our gym.
Yeah.
Y'all pub us, we're gonna give y'all $500 a month. Every student athlete who's on scholarship.
And see,
Hey, but think about
go
this.
ahead.
Think about this. Just to Jawan's point, he's saying the money that they're making may take their focus. How about those that are broke? You don't think they lack focus, wondering if the calf closed, I can't eat. How do I get this? How do I get these needs if they don't have the money?
Yeah, but you
So
could easily
uh,
take that. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead, Jawan, go ahead.
Yeah, but you could easily take that money, put it in a trust, and give them enough money to be able to do the little things that they need to do, but not make them instant millionaires. I think that
So more like
It's
a
not.
conservatorship.
It's
Yeah.
not
You
going to.
trying
I'm
to
gonna
give
say,
them a
but
stipend. You trying
You
to give
keep
them a stipend.
you keep talking about instant millionaires, and I'm telling you, it's not going to be an instant millionaire. Master P's son is the exception to the rule. Nobody's going to sign for
It's
these.
been several.
not $1 million
The Auburn
contracts.
quarterback, Bo Nix. How much was Bo Nix contract?
It wasn't $1 million.
Oh,
I don't know. Somebody Google it now, because we got the internet.
it's just starting. It's just starting. Let's wait and see.
But
Wait and see.
but see, my thing is the $1 million contracts. Those are the exceptions to the rule. You're gonna see a lot of $50,000 contracts. You're gonna see a lot of, maybe 100, maybe 200. But I'm gonna tell you who's
I
gonna.
mean, the young man that's the quarterback at Miami, Derek King.
Mhm.
I think they said he'll get $20,000 with all of the deals that he's put together.
Yeah,
So
Okay.
several different entities, and they said total it's about $20,000 a year.
I want you who you're gonna notice, and people, and I hadn't expounded on this, but I said it twice. Women's basketball, the way Instagram is now with some of these girls, especially the girls in high school and who are coming in, they have 500,000 followers, 800,000 followers on Instagram now. They're already cash cows to advertise. I mean, to companies. Some of these young girls, and I would say basketball too, but I still believe the guys who are good enough to make any money in basketball and to have that following, they're not going to be in college anyway.
I think that's where building your brand comes in. So these people who have put in programs about building your brand, because it doesn't matter how good at your sport you are if you got followers, if you got people who like your content. So your content is creative, your content draws people in. You can be the fifth string on the field hockey team. You can be the squash player, but if you've got the content and you got the followers, people will pay you, because that's what happens.
Yep. So man, I'm telling you, man, I don't think you're gonna see break the bank contracts, but you're gonna have some kids. They're gonna be all right. They're gonna be all
I
right.
think what's interesting is, you gotta say you take basketball with 13 scholarships, 15 scholarships, depending on men's and women, and you've got some who are here and some who aren't. And Jawone talks about perfecting your craft and wanting to still focus on your sport. Like, how do you handle that as a coach when your team is divided like that, right? Or you got 5 scholarships in football and everybody wants to give your money to your skill positions, right? Your DBs, your wide receivers, your quarterback, your running backs, those don't get the money. But what about your linemen, and those folks who are in the trenches? Like, how do you handle that as a coach?
But see, here's the thing.
Division among the team.
If you're a quarterback, and hopefully a quarterback has the right guidance around him, and he says, hey man, look here, I'm getting, like, let's say you're an 18-year-old quarterback, you end up starting at University of Miami. You start at Miami and you're getting this money coming in. You're getting $100,000 worth of contract coming into you. Now, if I'm that quarterback, I'm gonna go and talk to the top 5 offensive linemen in the nation and say, hey brother, hey, I need you to come to Miami. I need you here to protect me. And that offensive lineman, well, why would I go to Miami? I don't want to go to Miami. Miami ain't nothing for me. But he says, look, I got this business paying me $20,000. Ain't nobody gonna pay an 18-year-old offensive lineman $1. All right, because you a nobody. But I'm gonna get this business to give you $10,000. I'm gonna get this other business to give you $5,000. I'm gonna get this other business I'm gonna get this gym that's gonna give you $500 a month. Now, if you are a good people person, you a good talker, you a good game spitter at 19 years old or whatever, then you can help your program by bringing in some more studs, because you can let them know, hey, we're gonna get you some money to come over here.
But not only that, if they can't get their money, let's say you my big pulling guard, Sly. If I want you there, guess what I'm gonna tell you? I'm getting a contract, but we all gonna eat.
Exactly.
When we go out, I'll make sure you're good. Jawone, you're my skilled wide receiver. When we go out, or you need those new cleats or not cleats, but Jordans you want, I'll take care of that for you. You just come on to Miami or USC or wherever, and through my contract, we are all eat. That's what the smart kid would do. I can't get you a contract, but I can allow you to eat and do more than you will be able to do on my contract.
That's where the guidance comes in, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Because you
ma'am.
don't
Yes,
necessarily
ma'am.
expect an 18 or 19-year-old to figure that out the rip, right?
That's what that comes into what you were saying, Ms. Cobb. Those around them, telling them, giving them that guidance, making sure
So
you're not
there
out
are
here
schools
just spending
now.
that
There are
money.
schools now who are creating positions that they're one of their primary responsibility is managing this name, image, and likeness. So I'm gonna create this position and say, and also remember, this is also divisions 2 and 3. So these are smaller schools. These are schools who you don't historically think about student athletes who are, when people think the highest level, they tend to think Division 1, but there are Division 2 and Division 3 programs that are really good. Like there are Division 3 swimming programs that have won national championships year after year after year after year. And in that town, for those student athletes, this is a big opportunity for them. I'm a swimmer at this school. We are 15-time national champions. Run us some money to advertise for your Dairy Queen.
And see, that's where I think most of the money is going to be. I think most of the money is going to be on that small level like that, where they're going to give this kid, they're going to give you $500 a month. The local mom and pop bar, the local mom and pop diner or something. They're going to give this kid, $250 a month or $250 a week. Those $1 million contracts that people are dreaming about. That's going to be rare. That's going to be extremely, extremely rare. And I'm talking about starting quarterback at the University of Alabama rare. That's what that's going to be. But hey, but those $500 a month here and there, yeah, oh yeah, kids going to eat. And here's the thing: the NCAA could have avoided all of this. They could have avoided or at least pushed this off for another 20 years. If 10 years ago or 20 years ago or whatever, before what's the O'Bannon? Charles O'Bannon or Ed O'Bannon?
It was Ed.
It was Ed O'Bannon.
Ed O'Bannon. When that thing first came to light, if the NCAA said, okay, we're going to give every student athlete $500 a month. If they would have said that, if they would have said we're going to give every student athlete $500 a month, this would have never came to light.
So here's the thing now. Here's the thing now, and I absolutely agree with that, Sly. And for the record, I will say the NCAA is made up of it's a voluntary membership organization. So the folks who make the rules are the membership. So that's the schools, the conferences, and those people. But here's the thing. The federal government now at this point needs to come in and say, we're going to have a uniform piece of legislation, because we can't have 21 states that have pieces of legislation. The rest of the states don't. And so now we got to figure out what this looks like. We need the federal government, and the NCAA president went before the federal government to say, y'all need to do something to say, here's what it's going to be across the board, so that it's fair, right? Because that's what matters to people these days is fairness, even though we know life ain't fair, but what's fair across the board. And the federal government's going to have to step in now and say, here's a uniform piece of legislation that covers and governs all 50 states and the international institutions who compete in the NCAA.
Because here's going to be the one thing. You're going to have a state like, especially your southern states, when it comes to football, Alabama's gonna be wide open. Texas, they're gonna be wide open.
Texas ain't gonna care.
You can pay this kid whatever you want, but you're gonna have Maine or Rhode Island gonna say, well, no, we believe in amateurism. We're not gonna allow student athletes to be paid. And so that's where you're right. They do need a federal governing body to come in and say, this is what it is. This is what it is. This is what we need to do. So yeah.
So I guess in full disclosure, we'll say that I am an NCAA employee. So I'll just throw that in there so that people don't think there's any conflict of interest in this conversation.
Yeah, because I see you with the new Benz. I know you work in the NCAA. You got that good money.
I don't have a Benz. What's that?
New Beamer or something. That new Beamer. I see you flexing on Instagram. Got that NCAA.
Don't do this in front of all your listeners.
Hey, there you go with that shade again. There you go. Hey.
No shade.
We don't need the Rip 28ers to come after you. We don't
They
need
like the
them.
beehive. They
The
like the
Riptide. We
beehive.
don't need the Riptide. Is that what we call them? The Riptide?
No, it's the Rip 28ers.
No, I like the Riptide. I like the Riptide better.
Whatever.
I'm with the Rip 28ers.
Whatever.
Yes, we would.
Well, check this, man. We're talking about making money and the potential to make money and all of that, man. My thing is, I'm curious. I saw a meme going around, and I want to try to pull this meme up. And we can figure out who could really make money. You know, who's going to really make money if this whole NCAA thing was to ever happen. And I'm really curious. I saw this meme right here, and they say, boom, boom, once this thing comes down off the top of the screen, who do you think would have made the most cash with the new NIL rules? And they have a picture for our listeners. Brian Bosworth, everybody remember the Bars,
The
Deion
Bars.
Sanders, Tim Tebow, Johnny Manziel, or Reggie Bush. Who would have made the most money? I'll go with you, BZ.
I'm gonna go with prime time.
You know what, Prime?
Because I'm gonna say for the simple fact that he was the best one out of them all, so he has a upper hand, and he knew how to market himself. You play good, you look good, you play good. You play good, they pay good.
Okay.
That was his quote. So I'm going with prime time.
What about you, Kyle?
You know, I hate to say this, but I actually agreed with something that Sylvester said. I hate to say this. I hate to say this.
It's the thing recording.
But when I look at this list, so we have Bosworth, Tebow, Prime, Reggie Bush. And we're talking about at the time that they played, right?
At the time that they played.
You got a Southern Christian quarterback in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time that he played, they would look, people would have been falling over themselves trying to get Tim Tebow to advertise for them.
Thank you.
I hate to agree with this fool, but
Take a bow.
because here's the thing, LeBron, Prime, look good, feel good, play good, but that he would have only made money in South Florida because nobody outside of South Florida or like the freaking what's that commercial?
Panhandle.
The maybe the Panhandle, maybe like he was too brash, he was too in your face, he had a Jerry curl
In 1988.
He was too, dare I say, black for people to give him a lot of money to advertise for them. Only
Think
in,
about the
only in
money.
Duval, only in
No,
Calico.
no. You got to think about as a business owner. You
You're
don't
right.
give a
That's
damn
what
ab-
I'm
you
thinking of.
don't- Hold on. You don't give a damn about how black Deion is.
Jeez.
What?
You know
Prime.
he gonna
We're
bring
not
people
talking about
in.
2021. We're talking about when
I
Prime
know what
was
you-
Prime.
We talking about
You say only in Duval.
1987 Deion Sanders. We talking about prime time. Now
Oh,
everybody on this podcast, if Deion was selling it back then, we would have brought it. But we are not a reflection of the world. Let's be honest.
And our buying power at the time is not what it was now. We weren't the culture then.
No.
We are the culture now. And if he were himself right now, without question, we'd be all over it. But we're talking about back when he was in school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We weren't the culture then.
Deion ain't make no money till Deion shaped his. Well, he made money, but he ain't make no real money, no national money, till he shaved the Jerry curl. Let's be honest, he got a haircut. You know, and this is the thing about Deion. We're talking about 19, and this is what people refuse to believe or refuse to look at. It is 1987 Deion. All right, black people as a whole, like Shauna said, we weren't the culture. Now hip hop is the culture. Now it's cool to be black. In 1987, white people wasn't buying stuff that black people was advertising. Y'all forget O.J. Simpson was the first black person to have a national commercial, to be a national spokesman. You remember when he was running through the airport? I don't know if that was for Hertz or for Hertz.
Hurts.
When O.J. Simpson was running through the airport for Hertz, and that was in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? And that's clean cut O.J., who everybody loved back then. Before that was pre-stabbing O.J. You know what I'm saying? That's early O.J. So, and he was the first black person to be a national spokesman for a major company. All right.
And that's because he, at the time, presented himself as racially ambiguous. He was not threatening to white people.
He was not black. He's OJ.
So what y'all saying is today primetime would
Yeah,
win
today,
that, but
of course, today everybody loved Deion.
yeah,
Now,
but I don't know if I still think Tim Tebow still would have a market. I don't know if it'll be as cut.
Now-
I think primetime is more marketable, right? Because his personality, right? But
the question was, if in their when they played,
When
who
they
would have
played.
made the most money
Oh, okay,
in
yeah,
NIL?
yeah,
when they played,
well, yeah. I'm just saying y'all were saying now. I'm just
Oh no, Tebow will still get money now because these conservative Christians, they
yeah,
all
that's
over
what I'm
this
about to
now.
say. Yeah.
All of
Yeah.
them will get money now. All of them.
all of them.
But
All of them would.
there's some lane
Yeah.
for all
And
of
here's the
them.
thing, I think
Maybe not Brian Bosworth because he was an addict, like he was deep down addict. So
I
I don't
think-
know
Yeah,
Bos.
but he was
if
marketable.
if
though,
you
with
take
with
that
bad stuff.
advertisement, if you take that meme, and I know this is sacrilegious, but Deion would make the least amount of money out of all of them at that time. And this is why I say that. This is why I say this. At the time they played, Johnny Manziel was a lot later. Johnny Manziel was in that attitude era. So Johnny would have made money off his attitude because he was first of all, he was in Texas. He's a white quarterback in Texas. So he's gonna make money.
And he won the Heisman.
And he
Run him his
won the
money.
Heisman.
Run him his money.
He beat Alabama. He had that brash attitude. He had that attitude that the black folk like. He had the attitude that the young white folk like. Hey man, Johnny Manziel would have made money. He would have came in 2 behind Tebow. All right. 3 and 4, I say Reggie Bush because Reggie Bush, he was in Los Angeles. You know, he was in the land of the stars. He was a star, and he wasn't no threatening Negro. He wasn't a threatening Negro. He was a nice, clean-cut guy. Reggie Bush would have made money. Boz, that attitude era. Boz was a tough white punk rocker guy. Boz would have made more money than Deion at the time. All I'm saying is at the time, America wasn't checking for Deion. And it is what it is. And I hate to say it because I love Deion. I love Prime. You know what I'm saying? I brought Must Be the Money. You know what I'm saying? I own the tape. You know, but hey man, Prime wouldn't have did it, man. Prime wouldn't have been the one back in the day. That's my 2 cents on that subject.
Well, it sounds more like 10 cents to me, but go ahead.
Well, that's because I'm an expensive dude. No, I'm a baller. I'm a baller. But yeah, man, it would be interesting to see what these people could make or what these people will make, man, with this money, man. I got to get his Instagram followers up. I ain't even getting him on the field. I just need my son to get some Instagram followers, get his brand going. Let him get a TikTok or something going. I can say, Daddy ain't got no retirement fund. I'm counting on you, big man. I'm counting on you.
Hey, I'm Jay Little, the owner of Forward Counseling and Consulting. We're a consulting and coaching firm who believes in the TLC method, truth, love, and community. Whether coaching corporate clients, individual clients, or engaging in individual counseling and group counseling. We believe that you can be more than what you are today by finding your truth, love, and community. You can reach us at www.forwardcc.net or give us a call at 803-457-5413. I'm
So, oh well, should be interesting. Should be interesting. You know, we got a little bit more time, man. Before we get out of here, man, there's something else going on big in the sporting world. I guess this is gonna be all sport episode, but we can't get out of here without talking about Miss Richardson. And I don't want to say her name wrong, so LeBron, say her first name right. Put respect.
Sha'Carri Richardson.
Put some respect on her name. But
That's right.
as you have all heard, she has been suspended for 30 days for testing positive for marijuana. And not only with that 30-day suspension, what happens with that? Well, first of all, she ran at the Olympic trials. She won the 100-meter heat, a 100-meter race, and she qualified for the Olympics. But shortly after that, she tested positive for marijuana. Now, with that positive test, she acquired a 30-day ban, and it wiped out the time that she ran in the Olympic trials. So everybody moved up a spot, and she went home. Now, there was a actual, she had a possibility that she still could go to the Olympics as a member of the relay team because her suspension would be over by then. But the U.S. Olympic Committee decided not to select her as a member of the relay team, and now she won't be going to the Olympics. So how do y'all feel about that? Everybody don't jump in at once. You know, somebody got an opinion.
Well, yeah, it's unfortunate. You hate to see somebody with that talent not be able to compete and all that training going to waste, and she got to wait a couple of years before she can actually show her talent again. And yeah, but at the same time, you hate. I don't want to say it, but the rules are, Biden just actually made a statement. It's on Yahoo's main page, but the rules are what the rules are. Like, and so you would have hoped that they would have made an exception for her, but if they made an exception for her, they would have to make an exception for all other players. And so so hopefully out of this whole situation, the rules actually change, if anything, from this whole thing that happened. But yeah, it's sad to see that happen for her.
Well, man, I've been 21. I've been 21 and I did some dumb shit that 21-year-olds do. But I was never a world-class Olympic athlete. And being a
world's biggest stage. You weren't preparing for the world's biggest stage.
But being a world-class Olympic athlete, I know I'm not a world-class Olympic athlete, but I know that Olympic athletes get tested. I know they get tested all the time. And if you know you're going to get tested, there's no way around getting tested after you run that race. How come you just can't give up weed for a month?
It wasn't, but look what happened to her. When her mother died, you don't know what kind of headspace she was in. I'm not making an excuse or minimizing what she did, but stress and trauma affects everybody differently. Whereas you may be mature enough to say, all right, I'm preparing for X, Y, and Z. Maybe she wasn't. I don't know her case. I just wish I could have seen her run to really show her talent. And I don't think the 100-meter dash winner should feel like they really won.
Oh, well, let's stop right there.
Please, Sly.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Couple things here. I really appreciate the fact that she went on TV and accepted responsibility for what she did.
Shout out to the homeboy.
Yep.
Craig Melvin.
She went on Today's show. Here's what I did. I'm accepting that responsibility. I think she did that better than a lot of older people, right? There are people who are older than her who don't take responsibility that well. And I am the last person to sit in judgment of anybody. So my mother passed away, and before that, my brother passed away. When my brother passed away, I indulged because I needed something that was going to take the edge off me. I needed something that was going to help me sleep. So again, recognizing that a traumatic loss can put you in places where you don't necessarily know that it is. Now I'm going to say this, and this probably is going to set some stuff off with some people. But one of the things that struck me as unique was when she was talking about it, she said, my biological mother passed away. And the only time that I hear people say that is when and if they might not have had a good relationship with that person. So when people say my biological mother passed away, they either didn't grow up with that mother, they weren't raised by that mother, or something along those lines. So I just found that interesting. And so again, I ain't here to pass judgment on nobody. So when she says, I found out that my biological mother passed away in an interview from a reporter, that's jarring, I'm sure. Like Sly, never been on the world's biggest stage or preparing for the world's biggest stage of the Olympics. And I think that at some point we gotta extend grace to people, right? We have to extend that grace and say, I can't even imagine or put myself in those shoes and try to figure it out. But let's be real, Shelly Ann Fraser-Price and them Jamaicans, these numbers that they putting up are ridiculous. So I ain't even going to say that whoever wins the 100 should feel like they weren't challenged. Because even in the Jamaican trials, their numbers were faster than every number we put up in the U.S. trials.
Exactly. Her winning time would have came in fifth in Jamaica.
In Jamaica. And that's just the trials, and she could have been holding back. And you never know what's going to happen, when you get to the race. But I hesitate to say whoever wins should be like, man, there's an asterisk by my win.
Nah, them Jamaicans, hey, that's proof. They out there doing it. I wonder if they smoke. I wonder if their Olympic requirements different than America. So maybe the weed might not affect you.
Timing of the testing. I think it's the timing of the testing that's the issue, not whether or not they do it.
Well, my thing is though, if you are, I've never ran track and field, but I know that they test after every race.
Yeah,
I know
knowing that they test and trying to skirt it and get around it is two different things. That's what she probably tried to do. So, which a lot of athletes do that, right? They know they test on a certain date.
But have y'all seen that meme that said these new age dealers, back in the day, they'd be like, nah, you get ready for the Olympics. We're not gonna let you do this.
But here's my thing, man. To be a high level athlete, to be an athlete of that caliber on that level, you have to have discipline. You have to have discipline. And what that showed, her smoking, was a lack of discipline. Now, her mom died. I mean, I know it's tough. But once again, she put that I felt bad till I heard her say my biological mom, and that and she say she found out from a reporter. How close was you with this lady? I don't know. I can't say because I don't know the chick. I don't know her situation, but you still have to have a certain level of discipline. And I commend the girl because she came out and said, hey, I messed up. I was wrong. What bothers me is all these Facebook people sitting up here talking about, oh no, we gonna boycott the Olympics. All right, you boycotting the Olympics. What about the 1,500 other black people? All the other black people in there, you gonna boycott the Olympics because of one weed head? Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here.
Well, hold on. I think that they had a compilation of things. So it was, what they thought was unfair. with this treatment of Sha'Carri, even though folks knew what the rules were. I don't know if you've seen the articles about them banning the larger swim caps that would accommodate the people of, you know, of Afro descent who had larger hair. The International Olympic Committee said, no, y'all can't wear these swim caps. And I think that was just a case of, you know, sometimes people looking for stuff, right? And they feel like y'all are out to get the Black or the people of African descent. Y'all out to get them and trying to eliminate them from the Olympics. So I think that's where these people were coming from. I'm not one of those people, because I think that there are far more, you know, people of color who are representing our country and other countries who I'm a root for. So I wasn't one of the people say I was going to boycott. But the folks who have said, it looks like they stacked up against us, so we're not going to stand for it. We're going to boycott.
Wasn't last month we all Black girl proud about the gymnast chick turning all the flips and being the GOAT?
First of all, Simone Biles, I'm gonna need you to put some respect on her name.
Yeah, for real. For
My
real,
bad,
dog.
man.
For real.
Put some respect on Simone Biles' name. Thank you.
Bro, but here it is. But it's you know, that's a good point. I'm like everybody else in America. Nobody care about the Olympics till it comes. Nobody care about the Olympics until the Olympics comes. That's when people care about the Olympics as a whole. As a whole, that's when people care about this. So when the Olympics start, I'm gonna be right there with Simone Biles, watching her flip and tumble and do all the stuff that I can't do. I'm gonna be sitting there right there watching. But
so I don't
when
know
it's
if y'all
over with,
checking this, but Tokyo just went to like level 2
God,
because their cases of
yeah,
COVID
I saw
have
that.
gone, and so you know your cousins have said, "Uh-oh, look at the gods getting this stuff together, so the Olympics can't go off." Because they're managing to eliminate or alleviate some Black folks from participating.
I'm a boycott the Olympics because Serena ain't going.
There you go.
Well, I don't know. Serena like white men, so she ain't been right ever since she bleached her skin and took that picture. She been taking
First
it.
of all, don't do it. She had a bad makeup artist. It was a bad makeup job. Don't
Hey,
do this.
look here. She had to hit post on that picture. She had to hit. I've been on IG once or twice. I posted a picture on IG. There were some pictures of me. I said, hey, that's not a very good representation of me. So I'm not going to hit okay. I'm not going to hit okay. She looked at that picture and said, damn, I look good. She looked at that picture and said, damn, I look good. She's the only person in America who looked at that picture and said, damn, I look good. Let me hit okay.
Hold on, I didn't see that picture.
Oh, come on. Oh, the internet is here.
Please hold, Jawone.
The internet is here.
Don't do it, Shauna. Don't
Bro,
do it,
you
Shauna.
saw it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I saw it, man.
she looked like
She looked like Marlon Wayans on white chick.
Oh, that's what you beat me to it. You beat me to it. She looked like
Please
she looked like Marlon Wayans on white chick. Here you go. Oh man, Jawone, how could you have not seen this picture, Jawone? Oh my goodness, you see this right here?
Oh Lord,
you saw that? Oh God, the Jasmine brand don't let you look at this shit.
Oh,
come on.
It's a bad makeup job.
I don't know what the hell it is. It ain't right.
It's a bad makeup job.
It ain't right. But here go the thing.
Whoa. Yeah, she shouldn't have put that out there.
Bruh, she looked at that picture before she put it on. She said, hey, I look good. I look fly. She did that.
Well, maybe her husband told her he liked the pictures, and maybe that hyped her up, and she thought she decided to post it. I don't know. Somebody had to see that before she posted that.
That's you don't have no fucking friends. You don't have no friends. You don't have. If you saw me like that, Brian, what would you do to me?
First of all,
I'll take your phone.
First of all.
You don't want to know what I.
First of all, don't do this.
How would you treat
don't do this
me?
In front of our listeners. Don't do this in front of our listeners.
Thank you. Don't do this in front of all these listeners.
Man, you ain't gonna do it, Sly. I ain't worried about it.
Man, you know what I'm saying? Man, you better get out of here, man. I love Serena. And everybody who know me know I done love Serena for a long time. I done been wanting to be the meat in a Williams sister sandwich for a long time, man. You know what I'm saying? I love me some Serena and Venus. Come on. Well, ooh, she let me down on that one, boy. Woo-hoo-hoo. Once she go white, she ain't right, boy. I tell you.
That you want to be the burnt ends in their sandwich, huh?
Yeah, I want to be the meat in the middle of a Williams sister
The
sandwich.
burnt ends.
She wouldn't even have to change her last name. She married me. See, we were good. We would have been good. Well, oh well. Think of the beautiful brown babies we would have had. Me and Serena.
Brown Web.
Anyway.
Beautiful big brown babies we would have had.
Yeah, you got the big part, right? Oh, you got enough black dog would take any brown in Serena, so you good.
We would have had some prime athletes. You know what I'm saying?
It's like how? You 5'5".
First of all,
and you talking about prime athletes.
First of all, I am 5'11" and 1/4.
A lot don't care who
You ain't no 5'11".
One quarter.
You ain't ever seen 5'11".
5'11" and 1/4.
We can look at the length of your neck and tell you ain't 5'11".
5'11" and 1/4.
You ain't never seen 5'11".
Your neck and it's still about that much neck showing.
First of all of you
look
people.
like you got on football pads.
First of all, I hate to be this guy. I hate to be this. I hate to be this guy. I hate to be that guy.
No.
But here we go.
Your boy fool, boy.
Here we go right here. First of all, I am.
Where I'm going, huh?
You people are haters. You people are haters.
Like, how long have I known you? I met you playing. Well, I met you.
You was in the 4th or the 5th grade. 4th grade.
I was about in the 3rd grade when we started playing up at St. Andrews Park or so, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's about what, almost 30-something years.
Yeah.
Ever since I know you, you ain't had no nigga. So we ain't finna start like I just found it just out the
Boo! You heard the studio audience. You heard the studio audience. They did not like it.
I'll take that, but look at my panel.
The studio audience did not like that. The studio audience did not like that attack on my character.
Oh man, my bad, Sly.
Well, look at that, man. Well, check this out, man. We getting close to the time, man. It's been another great episode of the Rip 28 podcast, man. We're going to have to leave on these foolish lies LeBron out here spitting, man. JK, Doc, man, you got anything you need to say, man, before we get out of here?
Nah, I just need to let listeners know it is Thursday afternoon, and I got to go to work. Nah, good talk, man. Hey, it's always good to catch up with y'all.
Oh, Lord. We have to hit the mute on this fool, man. Beezy, man, you got anything to say before we get out of here, Beezy?
All I'm going to say is when we get together for this retreat, you better hope your father-in-law somewhere close. That's all I'm going to tell you, Jawone. But nah, man, it's always good getting together with the fellas and the lady, Miss Shauna C. It's always good to see you. But man, y'all have a great rest of your week and do your thing, man.
Cobb, you got anything to say before we get out of here?
As always, love on your people. Life comes at you fast, so make sure you let the people that you love know that you love them. Appreciate y'all having me.
All right,
Shauna.
It is always a pleasure having Shauna on here to talk with us, man. This is the Rip 28 podcast. It's a podcast where a few friends get together and we talk about a few things. Now, some of those things you might like, some of those things you might not like, but we're going to keep on talking about them on the Rip 28 podcast. We'll see you next week.